This was no ordinary garage. It was the private temple of a 7-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton, a man whose name defined speed, precision, and perfection. Inside, under soft museum lighting, stood machines that shaped automotive history: a McLaren F1, a one-off Pagani Zonda 760LH, Ferraris that once ruled the streets of Maranello, and the growl of a Shelby that could shake the air itself. But here's the twist. As of this year, every single one of those cars is gone. Tonight, we open the doors one last time to revisit the collection that defined a champion and discover why he chose to trade horsepower for heart. 1. 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby GT 500. It begins with muscle, American muscle. The 1967 Shelby GT 500, a legend of raw power and rebellion. Hamilton's example, painted in soft gray that dulled under sunlight, carried a heart of steel. A 7-liter V8, once 355 horsepower, tuned to nearly 500. It was the exact model that started and gone in 60 seconds, a car that looked like attitude itself. He paid $1.5 million for it, a machine that originally cost just $4,195. When asked why, he said, "It's not about how it drives, it's the sound, like sitting on a washing machine full of angry bees." In 2024, that sound crossed oceans, sold to a collector in Tokyo. Even shipping it cost $38,000. That's not just a sale, that's a farewell to an era of thunder and gasoline. 2. McLaren P1. From old-school muscle to cutting-edge mastery. The McLaren P1, a hybrid monster that rewrote what a hypercar could be. With 903 horsepower from its twin-turbo V8 and electric motor, it could surge from 0 to 60 in just 2.7 seconds. Lewis ordered his in matte black stealth and sophistication, a reflection of himself. He drove it only 1,200 miles, often at dawn through the quiet streets of Monaco. He once admitted to using its silent electric mode to sneak out of a hotel at 5 a.m. Originally costing $1.6 million, it sold in 2025 for $1.95 million, proof that innovation never loses its value. For Hamilton, the P1 wasn't just a car, it was the future whispering through the night. If you're enjoying this journey through the art of speed and design, take a moment to subscribe. It helps us keep uncovering the hidden stories behind the world's most extraordinary machines. 3. Ferrari LaFerrari Coupe. Next came precision the Italian way. The Ferrari LaFerrari Coupe, one of only 499 ever built, draped in scarlet that seemed to pulse under sunlight. Powered by a 6.3-liter V12 and a hybrid system inspired by F1 technology, it produced 963 horsepower, a masterpiece of fury and finesse. Hamilton called it a scalpel, sharp and exact, compared to the McLaren's brute force. At $1.8 million new, his sold for $3.4 million in March 2025. The buyer? A 27-year-old in Dubai who promised to drive it daily. Perhaps the car will finally taste the open desert, though the fuel bill alone could buy another Ferrari. 4. Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta. But Hamilton didn't stop at one. For Ferrari's 70th anniversary, he added the LaFerrari Aperta, the open-top version, one of just 209 made. His was car number 44, matching his race number matte black with a red stripe that traced its power lines. The same 963 horsepower hybrid heart, but with the sky as its roof. He once drove it at sunrise around the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, roof off, engine screaming, light dancing on the asphalt. The video drew 14 million views, a rare glimpse of Hamilton at peace behind the wheel. He sold it in late 2024 for $4.1 million and donated every dollar of profit to his Mission 44 charity. In that moment, the car became more than a machine, it became a message. 5. Mercedes-AMG Project One. This was the crown jewel of his Mercedes era, the AMG Project One. Not inspired by Formula One, born from it. It carried a real 1.6-liter hybrid V6 derived from Hamilton's own 2015 title-winning car, tuned to deliver 1,049 horsepower. The interior, minimalist. The soul, pure competition. He helped develop it himself, a road-legal symphony of carbon and technology. His personal car, painted dark gray with Petronas green accents, cost $3 million. Hamilton once joked, "The clutch alone costs more than a C-Class." He sold his allocation in 2025 for $3.8 million to a collector in Germany. A race car turned artwork, leaving behind the scent of victory. 6. Pagani Zonda 760 LH. Now, something personal. The Zonda 760 LH. Built by hand for Lewis Hamilton himself, the LH stamped into its soul. A one-of-one creation, dressed in shimmering purple carbon fiber. He insisted on a manual gearbox, a true driver's connection. But even Hamilton admitted, it's beautiful art, but it wants to kill you. With 760 horsepower, it was wild, visceral, unpredictable. Everything modern cars are not. He bought it in 2014, drove it once, and sold it in 2021 for just under $2 million. Today, it rests in storage with only 127 kilometers on the clock, a silent sculpture of speed and ego. 7. 1966 Shelby Cobra 427. Raw, untamed power. The 1966 Shelby Cobra 427. Blue with white racing stripes, side exhausts roaring like thunder. No roof, no radio, no forgiveness. A 7-liter engine, so brutal it demanded respect just to start it. Hamilton bought it in 2022 for $5 million, drove it twice, and joked, "My neck feels like I went 10 rounds with Tyson." He sold it in January 2025 for $5.4 million, warning the new owner, "Respect the throttle or it will bite." It wasn't a car. It was a test one that even champions tread lightly around. 8. McLaren F1. And finally the king. The McLaren F1, number 44, matching his racing number once more. A silver icon with a driver's seat in the center and a 6.1-liter BMW V12 lined with gold. 627 horsepower, 240 miles per hour, a speed record that stood for decades. Only 64 ever made. Hamilton's car had just 3,200 miles. He bought it in 2021 for $15.6 million and would start it every Sunday just to hear that legendary hum. In May 2025, he sold it for $20.4 million, the highest public sale ever for an F1. The second highest bidder? A trust for Michael Schumacher's family. Even off the track, the rivalry lives on. So why sell it all? Hamilton said he looked at the garage and saw the pollution his passion created, a contradiction to everything he now stood for. He donated the proceeds to environmental projects, traded his keys for a smart EQ for 2, and began collecting art instead. Now his walls hold masterpieces by young black artists, still full of movement, still full of speed, just frozen in paint instead of metal. He once said, "Maybe one day I'll build something electric that gives you the same goosebumps